So this is a Compass Corona 574. It's going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker we have the gas regulator on the bulkhead. If you need the gas pipe work, we do have that available here on site, and we also have 2 gas bottle tie downs where you can carry a maximum of 2 6kg propane gas bottles at any point. Like I said, the pipe work is available here from our shop or during the handover. Coming down the side of the van, you've got your heating and hot water flow. You don't need to do anything with this, you leave it open at all times. Don't ever cover it up, as it's basically doing the same as your flue would do on the side of your house. At the bottom, you've got your wind down leg on either side at the front to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. You'll only put these legs down while you're on site and not while you're travelling. They do need to be up at all times whilst travelling. On the side of the van, you've got your water pump connection. You can pull out the pump and disconnect it, or push the pump in and lock the pump in place with the white cap here. The pickup pipe, or the pump itself, actually drops down inside the act roll. You do need to make sure it's fully submerged before turning on the pump so it doesn't draw any air up. You've also got on the side of the van 2 fridge vents. 2 fridge vents are very simply there to allow the fridge system to breathe. When you're running the fridge on either gas or electric, you never cover these up. And the bottom flue, you'll see that little slight difference in the cover. That is where the gas flue is behind there. Wheel nuts, will demonstrate the motor move while you're here on site, so you can see it's all working as it should, and we'll torque the wheel nuts to the correct setting. You also then got your 2 grey waste pipes, so you've got your 2 connections here where you put your 2 bits of grey pipe into. So the fresh water that goes in the front has to come out somewhere, and it'll come out these pipes down the side of the van. 2 bits of grey pipe will drop down inside your waste master that sits just below the fitments. Then got your toilet flush tank. The toilet flush tank takes 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. We do advise you drain down after travelling, or before travelling, and I'll show you where that drain is in a second. Then got our toilet waste cassette itself. Pull up the orange handle and pull the cassette towards you. So as I said, the toilet waste cassette, you pull up the orange handle and pull the cassette towards you. The orange neck on top here turns out 90 degrees so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid, and on the back of the cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. That drain down pipe I was talking about, for the toilet flush tank is just at the top here, so it's that bit of black pipe work. You pop that out, pull the cap out and drain the flush tank down, so when you're travelling it doesn't splash around inside the van essentially. On the back of the van you've got your 2 wind down legs again, and as I said at the front, you don't lift the caravan with these legs. You've got a storage locker for underneath the single rear beds at the back. And then you have your battery locker with your battery on one side and your mains power lead going into the other side of it. You've then got the last wind down leg at the front of the van just through that hole. Going on to the inside of the caravan now. As you can see, the guys are still cleaning the van at the moment. But on the left hand side as you walk into the door, you've got the main control panel for the van. So you've got your master power switch just here. You've got your internal lighting main switch, apart from these 2 at the front, which have to be turned off individually just below them. Water pump switch, which I'm going to come back to in a moment. Your voltmeter for the battery on board the caravan, and your awning light for the outside of the van. Before we go on to filling the water system, I'm just going to show you where the trip switches are for the caravan. So underneath the front seating area on the left hand side, you'll find in this cabinet your 240 trip switches, and below that your 12 volt fuses for the 12 volt systems on board the van. They're all individually marked, as you can see. The same as the trip switches coming across, and your sockets, etc. Little tip for you: if you arrive on site and you've got to put your van plugged into the power, but nothing seems to be happening, hit the test switch. If this test switch doesn't drop down, it means there is no power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. If it does drop, when you press the test switch, it means there is power coming in from the site itself. So to fill the system up, open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. As you'll see, I've already filled the system up. Got the water pump turned off at the moment, so it's going to run that little bit of water out the tap. Then I'll show you how to fill it in a moment. The drain down valve for the water system is slightly different to on some caravans. Just down the side here, on the front right hand side of the van, you'll find your drain down valve. Now it works in a very similar way to what you'd have had before. If the valve is flat with the floor, you can fill the water system up, and if it's upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all of the water out of the system on board the caravan. So with that valve flat to the floor and all the taps open on the hot side of the water system, you come over to the control panel by the door and turn on the water pump. You'll notice a red light appears, which means the water pump is running. And once you have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan, you can shut all of the taps back off. And that is the water system full. Next thing I'm going to walk you through is the gas water heating. So up on the control panel here, you'll need to have the gas bottles turned on in the front locker. But to ignite it on gas, you flick the switch down. Green light means it has ignited on gas. Red light means it has failed to ignite on gas. In a moment it will actually fail because there's no gas bottle on at the moment. There will be by the time you arrive from your old van. Switch the switch off to isolate the gas supply to the water heater. To run the water heater on electric, very simple to do. You've got 500 watts of power or 1000 watts of power you can run the electric water heater on. You'll flick the switch to the relevant position and that will allow the water system to warm up on mains power. Obviously, if you're not connected to mains, then you do need to use the gas. If you are showering on board the caravan, we also do advise you use the gas to boost the water system while you're doing that. So that is your heating and hot water systems on gas and electric. Down below, you have your heating for the caravan. Now again, this works in a very similar way to the gas and electric water heating. However, you've just got one dial to control it. So all the way around to the right is your gas heating. Above you'll have a green light if it ignites on gas and a red light if it fails to ignite on gas. You can control the room temperature on this dial on the right hand side, and the nearer the ice symbol you see here, the colder the heat setting will be. The further you go round to the thicker end of the line, the hotter the heating will be. Blown air, you can have that on by selecting the blown air option here, and again you can control the fan speed by using the dial here in the centre on the right hand side. You've then got the off position for your heating, and then we go into our electric settings and the boost setting. So you've got 500 watts of electric if you're on a 500 watt site, a 1000 watt site, you've got the 1000 watt option here, and the 2000 watt option on the bottom left hand side. Down the bottom here, you've got the option for running it as a combination of gas and electric at the same time. It will self-ignite on gas as long as the gas is turned on. Green light means it is ignited, red light means it has failed to ignite. And again, on all of these settings down this side, you can control the room temperature on the dial on the right hand side. So that is your heating and hot water systems. Next up, we're going to go to the fridge. The fridge is very simple to use. So you've got your power button on the front, hit the power button and the fridge will come on. You've got your mains option to start with. If you're on mains, you can control the fridge temperature on this button on the right hand side here with a thermometer on it. Gas, the fridge will self-ignite on gas, the same as any other gas appliance would in the caravan. If it fails to ignite, it's going to flash the red warning triangle on this right hand side, and it will also flash the blue pilot light just behind here. It will also make a bleeping noise to inform you it has failed. We're now going to go on to 12 volt mode. 12 volt mode is essentially there to allow the fridge to work as a cool box while you're travelling down the road. So as you can see, at the moment it's flashing at me, indicating it has failed to do anything on 12 volt, and that is because we haven't currently got a car connected at the front of the caravan. On 12 volt mode, you have no temperature control for the fridge on this button, as it is just a cool box and it's only there to keep the beer and wine nice and cold. Gas mode, again, obviously you'd use the button here to control the temperature of the fridge. The microwave in this particular caravan is an eco microwave, so it turns itself off after short periods of time, so it saves power, but you can hit the eco button and the microwave will wake back up. The microwave, the rest of it, does work like a household microwave. Hob, a grill and oven all work again very much like your household appliances, your 3 gas rings on top. You have got an electric ring on here as well. However, when you are using when you want to use the electric ring, you will need to be on 240 mains for it to operate. If you're not on 240 mains, it will not work on 240 volt. It will not work on gas or the 12 volt battery on board the van. So 240 mains only. Hob, grill and oven all work very much like your household appliances with your igniter on the front. The last thing we go through on this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. The toilet has an electric flush on top, as you can see here. You have a toilet full indicator light that lets you know when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself turns for your convenience, as you can see. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan, it does need to be in the straight on position as it is at the moment. Then below the toilet, you actually have your grey waste handle, which needs to be in the central position for you to remove the toilet waste cassette from the side of the van. If it's in the open position, it will actually lock the toilet waste cassette in place and it will not allow you to remove it. So like I said, open when you're using the loo and closed when you're not. So like I said, when you can remove that cassette. So that is the Compass Corona 574. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business and we look forward to seeing you here soon when you collect the caravan. Thank you again. Bye bye.